Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, this is Delora, and today we're going to go over some definitions in roleplay. Now, of course, when I say definitions in roleplay, I mean fucking definitions in roleplay, which means I'm going over a term and or a little summary wording of it. It's not an acronym because acronyms would have to sound like a word if you actually put together usually, but whatever. The fact is, we're going to go over some of these things. And I need to cover some of these things because when I go into my more in-depth stuff with the whole RP moaning grinds my gears or GMG version of my rants for some of you Twitter folks, because some of the Twitter role players are losing their goddamn mind, I'm going to need these things defined from the get-go. So let's start with role play. Role play is the act out or perform the part of a person and or character to try to work through a situation and or therapy. Ergo, you know those shows that come up with the husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend going to a marriage counselor or some shit, and the doctor gives the guy the female doll and the female the guy doll, and they're told act as you see your spouse treating you. That's role playing. Role playing, in a nutshell, if you want to get technical, is acting. Acting. And if you want to be more specific, professional role players who happen to cosplay are known as actors. Shakespearean actors, or the thespians, I guess. Hollywood movies are the same way. Hell, Robert Downey Jr. is not Tony Stark, but he does play the role of Tony Stark. He is acting as Tony Stark. That is his role in Avengers. He is Tony Stark in Avengers. Ergo, he is acting as Tony Stark in Avengers. Ergo, he is role-playing as Tony Stark in Avengers. The only difference is he gets paid money. Now, let's carry on to breaking this down. In any text-based roleplay, short of D&D and the tabletops, that's a whole different kettle of fish. We'll do that later. You have the person behind the character, and you have the character themselves. The character themselves is known as being in character, IC. For those of you who know about the Suicide Squad situation, Jared Leto is out of character. Joker is in character. You got it? Pretty straightforward. Out of character, OOC, means you're out of character. Whatever you say after OOC means it's you as the player stating something straightforward. Now, because I said player, we're going to go to the next step and deal with the out of character section. Real life and in-game, IGRL. Real life is just that. Something happens in real life. I need to go to the hospital. I'm not going to be on. Boom, that's real life. Bio break. Be right back. Real life. In-game. Sitting here doing paperwork for years because, you know, an accountant wanted to talk to Bruce Wayne about his spending. That's in character. Fine. I see. But it will take up the character's time, so he's not going to reply to anything. He's not going to have a response to any other people because he's stuck with his fucking accountant. Got it? Sure. I knew that you could. Next step. Since we are now dealing with out-of-character stuff, we have one more step to go. And this is what they call themselves. Ahaha! This is the crunch time, because everyone calls themselves something different unless you're on Twitter. And Twitter sounds a little bit more arrogant about it. Let me explain. On AOL, you can say, my higher powers told me I gotta go. Higher powers, pretty much in-character reference of something above me is telling me I need to go. It doesn't even say it's out of character. It's just saying, hey, something above me says I got to go. I understand Muse to a point. Muse can be both ways. You can work Muse as ever you want. Because I'm not even going to define Muse because everyone used Muse so fucked up wrong in so many different ways. It's no point. But you get the idea. In many of them, it's the higher power. Out of character, they always call themselves the player, the person in charge. You know, the higher power. the higher power to the character, because after all, if that person dies in real life, the character will no longer be around. Unless, of course, it's canon, but we'll go into that when we get to the IRC side. So, that said, what does Twitter call itself? And why did I say it seems more pretentious and arrogant? Well, here's what they call themselves. They call themselves writers. Well, they're not completely wrong, because writing fan fiction is still writing. Oh, no. Ooh, calm down. I already hear the keyboards typing. Cool it. Chill. I can defend this with the next definition. Alternate universe. Alternate universe is when you take a canon character and you spin something out of control that is not according to lore. Even if you keep the lore 100%, as soon as you step out of the comic zone, or out of the movie zone, or out of the book zone, as long as you step out of that, you've effectively and immediately turned it into an alternate universe. And that even includes if you're repeating stuff from comics, movies, etc. Unless you are doing the exact same motion, saying the exact same thing, to the exact same people, in the exact same tone, you have altered the situation slightly, ergo, alternate universe. Every role-playing person who's role-playing, especially a canon character, is role-playing an alternate universe version. I don't care if you say you're from Universe 7 Goku. I don't care. I'm Universe 7 Goku. I'm Universe 2, I'm Earth 2 Supergirl. I don't give a shit what you call yourself. You are still technically an alternate universe. Earth 2A. Universe 7A. That is what you are, contrary to your popular belief. And nothing better to explain this than having the millions and millions of Harley Quinns running around. They're not all from the exact same universe. There's no fucking way, man. There's no fucking way, man. But there's like 13 to 30 Harley Quinns running around because Suicide Squad was a thing at a time. And yay, so many people came around. Oh my god. And then when Power Rangers came out, we had 47 billion Red Rangers all of a sudden appear. We're Red Rangers. We're all Jason. No, stop, please, cease, desist, hold, pause, wait, no. That just proves my point beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is alternate universe. You're welcome. Next. Canon. Canon is pretty much the lore that is known as common knowledge. If you say, what's Batman's backstory? Most people can tell you straightforward. Batman, he was Bruce Wayne, his parents got shot, became a crime fighter. Bare basic, but that's what it is. You're not wrong. That is what canon is. Canon is the information, lore, character, whatever, of a person that is so well known that it is pretty much a household name. If you say Clorox, you know it's talking about Bleach. If you say Batman, you know you're talking about Bruce Wayne. If you say Superman, you know you're talking about Clark Kent. If you say the X-Men, you know there's usually Cyclops, Jean, Professor X, Wolverine, Beast. You get the idea. You get the idea. Pretty common knowledge stuff on these characters who were invented as OCs at one point in time, who are now canon. Are we good with that? Let's move on. Headcanon. Things that you would make canon if you could so choose, but this is the information that is not fully confirmed nor denied within the media sources. If you said Beast was gay, just for shits and giggles, you say Beast is gay. Okay? So people are like, no, Beast ain't gay, that's not canon, blah, 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 blah. But you come back with a couple comics showing where there's implications where he might be gay. So in your headcanon, you have convinced yourself this is true. In your version of the universe, if you had the will to change it, you would say headcanon. You would say this was your canon. For those who are role-playing their AU, I'm going to say this because this is the thing. People will sit there and tell you straightforward, I am playing such and such character, let's say Batman. I am playing Batman as I see fit. I'm going to put my own little spin on it. Really? You're going to put your own little spin on it? Awesome. So, now we have Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton. 3 Batmen. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's give you. I'll give you a 4th one too. Why not? Why not? Adam West. These are 4 different Batmen. Alternate universe across the board. All 4. They each have their own version of canon. But you know what? For each one to be made, it had to be someone's headcanon. Tim Burton's version with Michael Keaton, it started off as his headcanon. Batman's very dark, gritty. He's going to be killing people left, right, and center. Even though there's evidence in the book that says he could or did, there wasn't enough to hold it. That is headcanon. Headcanon is something that you don't have full proof on, and you cannot confirm nor deny it, but it works. Or you feel it works. So it counts. Now we're going to skip into some technicalities, because we all know what a character is. It's pretty much the person who's in IC. You're in character. The character is the actual character that you're in, per se. Jared Leto being Joker. He's in character when he's the Joker. You got it? Michael Keaton being Batman. He's in character when he's Batman. You got it? Pretty straightforward. Let's move on. Chemistry. This is actually defined in Twitter a little bit more so than others, even though in the other spectrums like AOL, tabletop, etc., it's pretty dirt to dirt. But in Twitter, because, you know, people aren't exactly 100% sharpest tools in the shed, we had to get it defined. Chemistry is how well characters seem to get along with one another. There's, of course, canon chemistry, you know, Batman, Batgirl, Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, things like that. There's canon chemistry, and then there's chemistry, where two characters are interacting, you know, because AU, two characters are interacting, and they get along great, and they seem to click. Well, there you go. That's all chemistry is. How well two characters get along. Simple. Descriptive. Descriptive and literate. Let's just put both these together. Descriptive means you are going to use some flowery words, but you're going to describe a situation. Describe. He sits down versus a 6'4" man in a black suede suit sits in his leather office chair and stares out the window. Which one is more descriptive? You're right, the second one's more descriptive because the first one is very descriptive according to the mouse, which we will go over that rant in Pet Peeves at a later time. Let's just go on. Literate means to be able to read and write. Straightforward, bar none. We're done here. Next. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, not 100%. That is what literate means. But in terms of Twitter, and when they put literate on there, because again, some people don't do this, because you would think people would be, but they're not. Literate means knowledgeable about the lore. Canon lore or otherwise. Now, most of the time, OCs don't even bother with putting literate. There's no real reason for them to do so, unless they are picked up by a specific universe. If you're an OC and you go to the DC universe, you need to be literate in the DC universe. You need to understand why people don't just call Batman Bruce Wayne. You need to understand why that's the thing. Okay? That's what literate means. You understand and are knowledgeable, at least to some degree, of the lore of the area. Alright? Boom. Done. Next. OC, something I just said. Well, if canon is the household product name that everybody knows, OC happens to be those characters that are not well known. And I don't mean not well known a little bit because there's no media on them. No, I mean not well known because you made them the fuck up. Original characters or original concept is just that. Original concept. This is a hedgehog who is green and who can summon Cthulhu. Yeah. A Sonic character that summons Cthulhu. You show me the lore that says there's a Sonic character that does that happens to be green and doesn't need Chaos Emeralds to summon fucking Cthulhu. Let me know! Original character is pretty much taking an original concept and running with it and making a character based on that concept. We call him Cthulhu the Hedgehog. He summons Cthulhu. And if you take that, you have fun with it. I don't give a shit. It's an example. That's it. That's all OC means, okay? Original character to original concept. It does not... Nope. I'm not going to do that rant here. I'm not going to do that here. It will come up. It will be a rant. It is done. Don't worry. I've already done this rant. But it will be its own rant. Let us move on to something else. Whew. Ships with. Okay, let's start with ships first. First and foremost, we're going to start with the word ship. What the fuck is this? Are we talking about the Titanic? No, well, sometimes we are. But no, what we mean by ship in general, in the roleplay community, in general, ship is nothing more than a relationship. That's what they mean. They would have a relationship, usually a romantic relationship, with somebody. which goes back to the ships with, and then there's a space. You say ships with Harley, ships with Joker, ships with Diana Prince, ships with Bruce Wayne, ships with Clark Kent, ships with chemistry. If the player slash writer behind the account feels that there's great character chemistry, they might offer to have a relationship character to character. Just put that out there. Something to consider. Let us move on. Now, remember I said Twitter seems a bit pretentious because they call themselves writers. Well, again, in other versions, it's known as writer, mun, player, etc. As you saw in the paper, as you saw in the picture, I showed it. We're gonna move on to the next part, which is the username, which is more of a Twitter thing. The username happens to be the thing behind the @. You have your name, Bob the Liquor Fairy, @liquorfairiesarereal.com, or sorry, @liquorfairiesarereal. Don't need to put the .com, that's pointless. But you see, on a Twitter name, there's that @ sign, and that's the username. Because that's how you find people. That's the handle. That's where you find them. You got it? Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We got this? Cool. Moving on. Triggers! Oh, yes, yes, yes. Because of the world we live in, where everyone's triggered off of everything, some people feel that they have to put a trigger warning on their character sheet. They have to put it out there. Oh, I'm dark. I'm light. Oh my god, things are happening. There's body dimorphism. There's body mutilation. Oh, there's hypnotism. Oh, there's chemical alterations. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. Oh, it's lewd. Oh, it's gore. You get the idea. People get triggered off of anything. So trigger lists have to be made. Just so you can cover your ass, because some people will just jump on your shit. Let us be honest. They will jump on your shit a lot. Moving along. Verse. Straightforward. What type of verse? What type of universe are you? Are you a multiverse? Single verse? Now, the verse, this is the big thing. Verse means going between different universes. If you are a multiverse person, you can go between DC, Marvel, etc. This is not how Twitter says it, but this is what the definition is. You are going between these universes. Now, the way Twitter uses it, single verse and multiverse, the way they use it is defined as the following. Single ship, multi-ship. Oh yes, because they're so lazy they don't want to even put an S back there. You can be a multiverse person but have a single ship. If you don't believe me, watch The One. Pretty straightforward, actually. They do that very well. Multiverse, single ship. Multiverse, single ship, alternate universe. It covers all three of those. Come on! And yes, it does star Jet Li. If you don't like Jet Li and you don't like Asians, fuck you. It's a good enough movie to cover all these points by themselves. You might want to look into it. If for anything else, do you understand that multi-ship, multiverse, single ship, and alternate universe all work together? It can be a thing. Now we move on to the next part, which again goes back to the Twitter side for the hashtag barrage. I don't give a shit about it, what you do, but oh my god, stop the fucking hashtags. Now some people do the simple hashtag. My Joker just broke out of Arkham. Hashtag Arkham Breakout 2017. Stuff like that, fine, let it slide. You can let it roll. But some people will hashtag the whole fucking sentence. And when you see that, you just want to choke the just Jedi fucking choke. Vader. Your lack of faith is disturbing. I mean, it's one of those things you sit there and you're like, just choose one or two hashtags and be done with it. You don't need a whole sentence full of hashtags. So, this being said, let's move on to the next part for Twitter. Revamping and flipping. Oh my lord. Before we get into this, we're going to touch real quick on account. Account is pretty much the overall thing. The thing that you have to use a password to sign into, that is the account. Boom. That's the account. When you go to flip it, quote, flip the account, you're flipping the character of the account. So if you started playing, say, Scott Summers, and you've been role-playing Scott Summers for a bit, and you're like, I don't feel like playing Scott Summers anymore. Ever. I want to flip this account. I want to flip it to, let's say I'm going to flip it to, just for shits and giggles, we're going to flip it to Marble Girl. We're just going to flip that. We're just going to flip it to Marble Girl. So you delete all the information you can and switch it up to Marble Girl. And then when you bring up the Marble Girl thing and you offer the character up saying, hey, I'm ready to roleplay, it is then a revamped version. It is a revamped account. This account has been revamped to Marble Girl. You get the difference? Flipping means you are going to change it over. Revamp is after you've changed it over and you're letting people know, hey, been there. I've changed this over. This is a revamped account. Now, sometimes you can get away with saying this is a flipped account. It's fine. That doesn't really cause a problem because it covers the same boat. Revamp, flip, same thing. If you're trying to save space, just say it's a flipped account. We got that? Good. Writer accounts and writer tags. This is, again, a big thing in fucking Twitter. Because, again, people want to know who the actor is behind the character. They want to know. They want to know who the player is behind the character. They want to know the writer. Fine, dandy, you want to go and get known that way? Fine. That's what a writer account is for. We've already covered what an account is. You get the idea what this is. Writer tag is a hashtag for the writer. You put this hashtag in, it should pop up with the writer. Boom, there you go. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Let's move on. Timeline and direct message, aka DM and TL. Now, these have some very, very strange connotations to them. If you roleplay in the DMs, it is presumed, I don't know why, this is just the habit, but it is presumed that such a thing, such as roleplaying in DMs, means you're doing something wrong, bad, nasty, etc. It doesn't matter if your characters are just chilling in a coffee shop and you just want to spend more than 5 hours fighting with this little itty-bitty 140-word thing on the TL. You see where I'm going with this? That said, you can roleplay in the DMs and not be called all these names, but again, it is a stereotype. It is a bad indication of the situation at hand because everyone feels that being in the DMs mean you're immediately doing lewd stuff. Lewd, of course, being sexual porn. If you think of a porno, that's lewd. We good? Okay, moving on. That's how people feel DMs are. Well, why don't you just put on the timeline or the TL? Well, here's why some people don't use the TL or the timeline. Here's a good reason. For those of you who are actually descriptive and have a lot of writing that you do, try to write 4 paragraphs. Go ahead. Just try to write 4 paragraphs. Have a fun time with 140 letters at best. 140 characters. Not even letters. Characters. You hit a space bar. That's 1 character. You get this? You understand? Now, recently, Twitter's tried to help out by removing the at part. Like, when you reply to somebody and there's like a whole bunch of people, they put that on its own little bar so you still keep your 140. That's not how it was back in the day. Quote unquote, back in the day. It was 140 characters total. Total. But Twitter's been a little bit helpful. They're trying to help people out. When you make a poll, you can have more than 140 letters or 140 characters. When you're replying to somebody and there's more than 3 people there, you are actually getting a benefit of the 140 thing because now you can fit more in and the ats will still hold, which is great. But here is the thing. It's still 140 characters. Go ahead. Type out something 140 characters. It's pretty easy to do if you're descriptive. This is annoying. Why do I have 17 fucking posts or 32 fucking posts of me describing something to you, and then you come back with 7 posts, and then you just get tired of 7 posts. Oh my god, I'm tired. This is the problem because it looks really big, but you're breaking up sentences and shit. It's 140 characters. That's the timeline. DM does not have that restriction. You can write a fucking novel in the DM and send that shit, and no problem. So you wonder why some people go to the DM? That's why. So instead of 17 to 32 posts over here on the TL, they have 3 to 4 paragraphs. Clean, crisp paragraphs. Huh. Gee, I wonder why some people would use the DM instead. Can't imagine. Can't possibly imagine. So, with all this being said, these are some basic definitions, okay? Are we all good with these basic definitions? If there's something that you want me to define, we're going to start another set and we'll go into that. And yes, I am aware that the term, the whole thing of OC, hashtag OC, original character, I understand that there's a second definition of that, and that has caused a rant. And I will go into that rant later. Not in this video, it's a different video. But I'll go into that rant later. But for now, these are some basic definitions. I hope I've covered everything pretty basic. I'm not going into the details, like what does every hashtag mean, what does every single last term mean. I'm not going into all that. I'm just giving you the basics, okay? If you need to find out what a hashtag or a would-be acronym is, ask people, and if you want, you can put it down in little comments down below, and I'll answer it as best I can. I give you ask what the hell RT means. It usually means retweet in Twitter. Retweet. Pretty much hit the retweet button. That's it. The reason why people would ask for retweeting is to get the character information out to more people. Because again, when you first make an account, you're not exactly going to have 501 freaking friends. Now are you? You're not going to have 5,000 followers right off the bat, unless you bought them. But even then, they might not send your information out. You get what I'm saying? So that said, people try to ask for retweets, you know, to get the information out there and circulating. Bada boom, bada bing, advertisement, if you will. So, with all that being said and done, I hope you guys have learned a little something on roleplay. And yes, I understand that there are some cases where I didn't say, oh, this is this, and this is that, and yada yada. And I didn't go into detail about tabletop, and I didn't go into detail about AOL, and I didn't go into detail about Facebook, because let's be honest, I've already gone into detail about all those already. Because I have. Now, that I've covered the broad brush, we can worry about rants at a later time. And this way, when I start throwing terms out there, it won't be a surprise to anybody. Alright? Cool. Cool. So this is Double R, and I'm sorry that there's only pictures up here and whatnot, but again, this is for definition's sake, so whatever. Double R, I'm out. Later. And later, by what I mean later is next video, whatever the video you decide to click on, or any future videos you decide to click on. I'm not exactly seeing you, I'm looking at the fucking camera. I'm gonna stop my technicality here and just go.